everyone, welcome back to A Chandler's Channel. I'm Tracy, your host, and today's session is our intuitive vlog with Whitehawk on thoughts. Now, Whitehawk last week had mentioned in our previous readings week, which was on karma, so if you haven't had an opportunity to have a listen, please do. Really insightful in some of the things that Whitehawk said. Whitehawk had mentioned about our thoughts and how it sort of ties into karma, and perhaps in this reading we'll understand it that much more. And I don't want to give anything away in regards to karma. Have a listen. I'll put it in the description box. I'll click a link to the karma one in the description box. But he had mentioned thoughts, and so I thought, well, let's do an intuitive vlog on that, because you hear how, what's the word? Not strong our thoughts are, but the powers, that's the word I'm looking for. The power that our thoughts have, and there's affirmations that people say to get them thinking properly. You hear the power of positive thinking, and I probably am one person in this category that could use work on their thoughts. If you would just listen to your thoughts and how awful we sometimes are to ourselves, and if the power of that thought has a lot to do with our life, well, holy gosh, let's change it. So I'm as interested as you are as to what Whitehawk's going to say in regards to thoughts, power of positive thinking, affirmations. But for now, we'll just refer to it as thoughts, and I'm sure that they help in us manifesting stuff, and then I guess that could lead into the power of visualization and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's go get Whitehawk, and let's go see what he has to say on our topic of thoughts. Indeed, he says, what can one say about thoughts that has not been thunk before? Ha 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 ha. He's laughing. He made a funny. How punny he is. And he says, but indeed I am serious when I say it. It may come out as a pun indeed, he says, but there is much truth and power in saying this. And so when I'm speaking with Whitehawk, he is on his white horse, and I am beside him on my cognac-colored horse. And the horses walk as we ride them. And he says, indeed, thoughts, they are powerful, n'est-ce pas? And I'm like, yeah, so I've heard. And he's like, but they are very powerful, my child, especially to you and those around you. For if you would think that a simple seed as a thought could change your world vastly, then would you not think really good things? And as he's saying that, I'm seeing like as one would drop a drop of water into, like if a raindrop came into a lake, and how that drop hits the lake, and then you have the ripples, right? So the ripple effect, how it goes out from there. And he says, indeed, that is the power and the strength of our thoughts. Sorry, I just have to mention, my dog was just scratching there, so. So if you hear some jingling, that was him, and I thought he was going to knock my camera over. And Whitehawk says, no matter, my child, no matter. We're speaking of thoughts, and we're speaking of the ripple effect. And he says how if we knew the power of our thought, that if the drop occurred here, and then the effect, how big it is, right? How big it goes out. Why would we ever have a simple negative thought? Why would we ever have a negative thought? And so, I'm ingesting that. I'm ingesting what he says to me. And I have many questions, and I'm sure he's hearing them in his mind through me. He goes, indeed, child, I hear all your thoughts and all your questions. But the main thing that is going to help you become healthy and those around you, those who listen to you, is to clean, to clear your thought processes. For to leave them murky or dirty is to leave much ado about nothing. Then really, is it not? And I'm like, sure, I don't know. Well, let me explain it to you a different way, he says. If you could create a positive thought, therefore create a kingdom of positivity, would you not? So yeah, of course, who wouldn't, want to create a kingdom of positivity? Okay. Then why do you create this kingdom of negativity? And so on the left, I'm seeing the kingdom of positivity, which is a nice castle, trees, grass. And on the right, I'm seeing the kingdom of negativity, which is, not nice grass, dirt road, like dirt, a wooden shack that's in disrepair. Exactly. Doc says exactly. So why would you not pick the healthy, vibrant kingdom over the old, dislodged, disillusioned kingdom? And is it not a kingdom? He's like, ish. Like, okay, of course one would pick the healthy kingdom, the positive kingdom. He says yes. And really, that is what it comes down to. But so many people have learned over so many years to self-sabotage themselves. And it literally comes down to their thought processes. And so if they can clean up their thought process, then the kingdom of whiteness, of goodness, of holiness, of pureness, of abundanceness waits for them. I'm like, okay, how does one clean up the thought processes then? Indeed, how does one clean up the thought processes, he says. And you are saying, he says, you're saying, easier said than done. Really? He says it takes no more energy to think a positive thought, he says, than it does a negative thought. In fact, it takes less energy to think a positive thought than it does a negative thought. And not only when you're thinking the negative thought, you're taking away your energy by thinking the negative thought. But by thinking the positive thought, you are creating energy. Do you understand? Yes, that makes complete sense. And I'm like, then why are we, a society, stuck in negativity, stuck in negative thoughts, I ask? Because we have become a casualty of our own faults, our own worst enemy, the beast within. The beast within that says, no, you can't. No, you're not. There's no way you could. How could you? And when he said the beast, I was being shown, it was coming up like a big minotaur, or like the beast from Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, it's probably more that than a minotaur. I mean, he is kind of have that minotaur look about him. So the beast from Beauty and the Beast. The vain part of ourselves, I guess, too, right? So I'm just thinking, sorry to myself here, Tracy, about how Beauty and the Beast is probably a really good story about positive thinking and so on and so forth. He goes, there's no doubt, so Whitehawk interrupts and he says, there's no doubt that this indeed is a very good story and has an excellent moral. He says, but in regards to positive thoughts, he says, we may use the beast as the visual that we get as the beast from the beast within, but it is not the moral of our story, of our thoughts story. And so, we are our own worst enemy when it comes to our thoughts. And why, he says, why would we ever think that we should think bad things about ourselves or those around us? There's no doubt, he says, indeed, that there are atrocities that occur in the world, and henceforth, how does one turn such an atrocious act into such a positive thing, he says, but the way we do that is through realizing that there are blessings in disguise that come through atrocities. No, it is not perfect. No, it is not exact, and so on and so forth. He's sort of answering his people, I think, are kind of throwing things at him regarding that. He says, and no, it's not a perfect logic about positive thinking. And yes, there are times you are going to have a mind bend where you are going to question yourself and society around you and the world around you and the Lord and so on and so forth. But for the most part, children, for the most part, to keep your thoughts positive, to keep your thoughts healthy is to keep them positive. We are indeed in a crisis of a world of negative thinkers, of negative thoughts, he says. We need to turn those into positive thoughts. And I'm like, well, here's a good one for you. I'm like, I go, the concussion and la la la, and he goes, and because I had a concussion, and he goes, indeed, and indeed you have learned what its gift to you was. Did you not? And I go, okay, yeah. He goes, it does not mean that when you think positive, children, that bad things are not going to occur, or injuries are not going to occur, or death is not going to occur. What it means is that you are going to live a more healthy, a more vibrant, a more light and fluid life while you are here on your journey on earth. Do you understand, children? He looks up from his horse. So he's speaking with me, but he looks up from his horse and he looks up sort of into the sky, into the world around us. It's like speaking that forth to you guys. It's like, take your time, children, in answering that. You have all the time in the world, but time is ticking. And so, is it not easier to think healthy, positive thoughts than negative thoughts? And I'm like, yeah. And in my head I'm thinking, oh my God, this could just be beat right to the ground because there's just so many questions I have that I could be asking him. And he goes, indeed there is, but you are also thinking we do not have the time currently. The precious commodity of time. And I go, indeed. Just know, he says, at the end of the day, at the end of this reading, at the end of it all, would you not want the kingdom on the left, preferably over the kingdom on the right? And so for my video viewers, it'd be the mirror image, right? So I'd be saying the left, but it'd really be my right to you guys. And that's how channeling works, just so you know. That's how our reading might look. Indeed, he says, a very good point, my friend. A very good point. So for many of you, I know, if not all of you, you will choose the kingdom on Tracy's left. Be blessed, my children, in this newfound knowledge. is just a drop in the water, but such a simple teaching. And I know you will choose positive over negative. God bless, children, as you walk your path to positive thinking everywhere. God bless. Thank you, Whitehawk. Well, there you go. A very interesting reading, was it not? Ah, shoot. Went over the 15-minute mark. So, which means it takes that much longer to upload, just so we know. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up a little quite quickly then. So that was our reading on positive thinking. Our next reading is on, well, I say Mondays. I'm trying for Sundays, but I don't know. So look for it on Monday for sure. You'll know it'll be there. It's our weekly reading, insights, guidance, and support for you. If you have a topic you would like us to speak on in regards to our intuitive vlogs on Thursdays, let us know in our comment box. If you have any other comments, please, we'd love to hear from you. Subscribe, it's free. All right, I'm Tracy for A Channeler's Channel. God bless. We'll see you soon.